The stars were shining outside the window of the royal ship Varelian, floating slowly toward Earth. Inside the ship, Princess Ellerin of Sereth sat quietly. Her eyes were cold, her heart full of questions. She was not just traveling, she was being sent on a mission by her father, Emperor Kelrith of the Scifi Empire. Her mission was clear: travel to Earth, marry a human, and build peace between their two worlds. But deep inside, Ellerin knew this was not just about peace. Her father had given her a second message before she left. It was hidden in a data crystal. The message said, "Gain their trust. But if they do not accept our rule, prepare for Plan B." She had trained her whole life in diplomacy, combat, and leadership. But she never imagined she would be sent to marry a human, someone she had never met. From a species most Scifi saw as primitive and dangerous. Meanwhile on Mars, inside the human military base Red Horizon, Sergeant Marcus Hale was punching a steel training dummy. Sweat dripped down his face. His left arm, half metal from a war injury, made heavy sounds as it hit the target. "Sergeant Hale," said a voice behind him. He turned. It was Commander Weiss. "We have orders from Earth," she said. "You've been chosen." Marcus raised an eyebrow. Chosen? For what? A marriage alliance? With the Scifi Empire? He froze. What? A marriage? To an alien? Weiss nodded. "It's political. They want peace. They asked to marry one of our best soldiers. The council chose you." Marcus laughed, but there was no humor in it. "I'm a soldier, not a diplomat." "You don't have a choice," Weiss said. "It's already approved. She lands tomorrow." The next day, the royal ship arrived on Mars. Soldiers lined up on the landing field. The ramp lowered. From the light stepped Princess Ellerin, tall, graceful, wearing silver armor with blue jewels. Her skin was pale violet. Her eyes were like crystal water, sharp and deep. Marcus stood in front of the line, dressed in his formal uniform. When she walked toward him, he didn't bow. He simply nodded. "You must be the human I am to marry," Ellerin said in a calm voice. "And you must be the alien I didn't ask for," Marcus replied dryly. There was silence. Soldiers nearby looked nervous, but Ellerin smiled a little, very honest. "That is rare." They were taken to a private chamber in the base. A shared living space had been prepared for them. Neither of them liked it. Ellerin placed her hands behind her back. "You are not what I expected." Marcus shrugged. "Same here." "Why did your people choose you?" "It's because I'm disposable," he said with a half smile. "Or maybe because I've survived more wars than I should have." That night Ellerin stood near the window, looking out at the Martian sky. It was quiet, cold, and red, so different from her homeworld. She took out the small crystal hidden in her robe and placed it in her communicator. Her father's voice came through. "Daughter, Earth is not our enemy, but they are not our equal. Do not forget, we must lead this galaxy. If they resist, then you must act. You have the tools. Make the right choice." She turned off the device and closed her eyes. She did not like this mission anymore, not because of the marriage, but because she could see the fear in the humans' eyes. They did not trust her, and she wasn't sure she could trust them. The next morning, Marcus was already training in the gym. Ellerin walked in and watched silently. "You fight like a machine," she said. He paused. "Spying on me now, I am observing."
There
"Is a difference," he sighed. "You're not the first alien I've met, but you're the first who didn't treat me like dirt." Ellerin sat down on a bench. "And you're the first human who didn't try to impress me." Marcus looked at her. "I'm not here to impress you. I just want peace. But not if it means being ruled." She nodded. "I feel the same." Later, during a tour of the base, alarms suddenly blared. Pirates had attacked a nearby cargo station. Commander ordered emergency response teams. Without permission, Ellerin grabbed a combat rifle and followed the soldiers. She moved fast, using advanced tactics. She helped defend the engineers and push back the pirates. Marcus arrived just in time to see her fight strong, sharp, and fearless. When it was over, Illyrin had saved 5 human lives. She didn't say a word, just handed back the rifle and walked away. That night, Marcus brought her tea. "Thanks," he said. "For what?" she asked. "For being more than I expected." But later, while Marcus slept, Illyrin walked into the base's secure files. Using a hidden device from her armor, she accessed the private logs. She froze. One folder was labeled Project Redline. Inside were warnings. Proof that human spies believed the Scifi were preparing for war. Ships gathering near Jupiter. Strange. Energy readings. Human resistance groups were watching her every move. Illyrin stared at the screen. "They don't trust me. Maybe they're right." But then she whispered to herself, "No, I will not be a weapon. Not for them. Not for anyone." The red sun of Mars rose slowly over the rocky hills outside Base Red Horizon. The wind blew fine dust across the solar panels. Inside the base, everything was quiet, except in the combat room, where Marcus was already training. He moved quickly, practicing hand-to-hand drills. Sweat rolled down his neck. He fought like someone with old pain inside. It was more than exercise. It was his way to forget. Then the door opened. Princess Illyrin entered, wearing simple training clothes instead of her royal armor. She watched Marcus in silence. "You're early," he said, not looking up. "I could not sleep," she replied. "Your people keep the air too dry." Marcus chuckled. "Well, welcome to Mars. Nothing here is comfortable." She stepped closer. "Teach me your combat style," Marcus paused. "You already saved 5 engineers yesterday. You don't need help." "I want to learn," she said, "from a human." He thought for a moment, then nodded. For the next hour, they trained. At first, they moved like strangers. She was fast, but her style was smooth and calculated. His was rough, full of power and instinct. They clashed a few times, falling to the mat, laughing quietly at each other's mistakes. "You're not bad," Marcus said. "You are." "Unpredictable," she replied. "That makes you dangerous." He smirked. "That's what they tell me." They sat afterward, breathing heavily. Illyrin looked at him with curiosity. "Why do your people choose soldiers for peace missions?" "Because we know what war really costs," Marcus answered. "Politicians just talk. Soldiers remember." Later that day, Marcus showed her around the civilian sectors of the base. There were children, engineers, farmers, growing plants and artificial soil. Illyrin looked surprised. "I did not expect children here." Marcus smiled. "Mars is home now, not just a base. These people are building a future." Illyrin stood quietly. As a small boy handed her a Martian flower, it was blue and glowing softly. "Thank you," she said, her voice softer than before. "You look like a queen," the boy said, then ran away. Marcus watched her face. Something had changed in her eyes. They were less cold now. That evening, while Marcus checked reports, Illyrin walked into his office. She looked serious. "I found something yesterday," she said. "I was not supposed to look, but I did." Marcus stood still. "What did you find?" She showed him her wrist device. A hologram opened, revealing images from Project Redline. He sighed, "So you know." "What is this?" she asked. He sat down. "It's a secret program. Some humans don't trust your people. They think the Scifi are preparing for war." "They are," she said quietly, "at least. My father is." Marcus looked at her, shocked. She nodded. "He gave me 2 missions. First, marry a human and build peace. Second, if Earth refuses our guidance, I must activate Plan B. And what's Plan B? "Invasion," she said. Silence filled the room. Marcus stood up. "So what are you going to do?" Illyrin looked down. "I don't want war. I see now your people are not weak. They're full of life. They fight for survival, not control. I admire that." He crossed his arms. "Then help me stop it." "You trust me?" she asked. "I don't trust easily," he said, "but I believe in choices, and right now you have one." The next day, while Earth Command sent new orders, Marcus and Illyrin began working together secretly. They started gathering proof Scifi ships hiding in Jupiter's shadow, unusual energy pulses, and encrypted messages sent from Scifi scouts already on Earth. One night, while going through data files, Marcus looked at Illyrin. "You said something before, that humans are dangerous." "Why?" Illyrin didn't smile. "Because you change everything you touch. You don't follow rules. You break them, improve them. The Scifi are strong, yes, but we follow order. We fear chaos. You are chaos." He laughed. "I'll take that as a compliment." She looked at him seriously. "It is. That is why I think humans will survive long after other species fade." Marcus grew quiet. "You talk like someone who doesn't want to return home." "I don't," she admitted. "Not if my home wants war." Later, in a private meeting with Commander Weiss, Marcus shared what he and Illyrin had discovered. Weiss was shocked. "This is serious, Sergeant," she said. "You're telling me the princess is a spy?" "No," he said. "She was a spy. Now she's our best chance." Weiss frowned. "If Command finds out you're hiding things, I'll take the blame," Marcus said. "But she's telling the truth." That night, Illyrin stood again by the window, holding the blue Martian flower the child had given her. She had not sent any new reports to her father. She had stopped following her orders. For the first time in her life, she was making her own path. She turned when she heard Marcus walk in. "Do you ever miss Earth?" she asked. "Every day," he said. "Would you go back if you could?" He shook his head. "Earth didn't need me. Mars does. And maybe you do too." Illyrin smiled. "Gently, perhaps. But far away, deep in space, near Jupiter." Something moved in the shadows. A massive Scifi battlecruiser, cloaked and quiet, activated its engines. More ships appeared behind it. Thousands of them, heading slowly toward Earth. The quiet halls of Base Red Horizon were no longer peaceful. Tension had begun to grow. Hidden messages, secret meetings, and silent stares followed Sergeant Marcus Hale and Princess Illyrin wherever they walked. Some humans still didn't trust. Illyrin and some Scifi agents were watching her every move through secret eyes. But despite all this, something had changed between Marcus and Illyrin. They no longer looked at each other as enemies. Now they stood side by side, unsure of the future, but ready to face it together. One morning, Marcus and Illyrin sat in the base's war room, staring at a glowing map of the solar system. Dots showed movement of known ships. Marcus zoomed in on Jupiter. "There," he said, pointing at a cluster of signals. "That's where your fleet is hiding." Illyrin nodded. "They are cloaked. Scifi ships use gravity shadows for cover. Only high-level scans can detect them." Marcus leaned back. "You sure your father will attack?" "He's not patient," Illyrin said. "He believes humans will resist joining the Empire, so he sent me to bring peace. But also to test Earth's loyalty. If Earth refuses, they'll strike." Marcus looked at her. "So Earth is running out of time?" That night, the base held a celebration for Unity Week, a yearly event to honor peace between colonies. Soldiers and workers laughed, shared food, and danced. Lights. Even the Martian sky looked softer under artificial lights. Marcus stood near the edge, watching. He wasn't in the mood to party. But then he saw Illyrin, wearing a long silver dress, not armor. She looked different, human almost. She walked over to him. "You are not dancing?" "I don't dance," Marcus said with a slight smile. "Then walk with me."
Oh.
They stepped away from the noise and lights, toward the observation deck. Through the glass, stars shone above the red Martian sands. "It's beautiful, Illyrin," whispered. Marcus nodded. "Sometimes I forget to look." She turned to him. "I used to think your people were reckless. Wild now. I think you're just alive in a way others are not." Marcus chuckled. "We try." Then she looked at him. "Seriously, what happens if war begins?" He looked back at the stars. "Then we fight, and many will die. On both sides." "I don't want that," she said quietly. He faced her, then helped stop it. There was a pause. Something passed between them, unspoken, but strong. Not just respect, not just duty. Something more. The next day, alarms rang across the base. A human patrol ship near Jupiter had gone missing. Last transmission showed Serati signals nearby. Earth command was shaken. They feared invasion was close. Inside the command center, Marcus stood beside Commander Weiss watching the reports. "We need confirmation," she said. Ellarine stepped forward. "I can get it." Everyone looked at her. "My access codes can open Serati channels," she explained. "I can intercept messages from their fleet." Weiss narrowed her eyes. "And why should we trust you?" Marcus answered firmly. "Because she's risking everything." Late that night, Ellarine activated her secret comlink, hiding inside the base's lower level. She typed in her old royal codes. The screen lit up with a message from her brother, Prince Vale. "Ellarine, the fleet is ready. Father's orders are clear. Earth has not responded with full loyalty. We begin Phase 1 soon. Return home before it starts." Elarine's hands trembled. She typed quickly, "Stop the fleet. Earth is not the enemy. They are open to peace." Her brother replied coldly, "You have changed. You sound like them now." She ended the call, her heart heavy. Ellarine returned to Marcus and showed him the message. He read it in silence. "So they're coming," as she whispered, "and they think I've betrayed them." He looked at her. "You're not a traitor. You just chose your own path." She looked away. "But now I belong nowhere. Not to my people, not to yours." He stepped closer. "You belong here, with us, with me." Their eyes met. The air between them was full of emotion, not words. Then Ellarine smiled sadly. "We need to warn Earth," she said. Marcus and Ellarine took the evidence to Commander Weiss. Together, they prepared a message for Earth Command, full of ship data, battle plans, and a personal report from the princess herself. The message was sent. Now, all they could do was wait. But the base's silence didn't last long. An explosion rocked the lower halls. Emergency alarms screamed. Marcus ran toward the smoke. Ellarine followed. They found a storage room on fire and a Serati device. Hidden in the wreckage, a bomb, Ellarine said. "Why did my people planted it?" "But why now?" Marcus asked. Then they heard a whisper over the base intercom, a hacked message. "Ellarine is a traitor to Serath. She will be eliminated." Elarine's face turned pale. Marcus grabbed her hand. "We need to hide you," he said. "Now, no," she said firmly. "Let them come. I won't run anymore." Marcus stared at her, then slowly nodded. They stood. Back to back in the armory, he loaded his weapon. She activated her combat suit. A red light blinked on the wall, enemies approaching. A Serati strike team had entered the base in secret, using stolen human codes. Ellarine looked at Marcus. "Ready?" "Boys," he said. The door burst open. Red lights flashed across base red horizon. Alarms echoed through every hall. Smoke spread in the lower levels, and soldiers ran toward the emergency zones. Inside the armory, Sergeant Marcus Hale stood tall with his rifle ready. Next to him was Princess Alienne, wearing her sleek silver Serati combat suit. The air was thick with tension. A metal door slid open. 3 Serati soldiers stormed in. Their faces were hidden by black helmets, but Ellarine recognized their fighting style immediately. These were elite hunters, trained to kill traitors. Ellarine didn't wait. She leaped forward, her blade glowing with blue energy. Marcus moved to cover her, firing precise shots. The room turned into chaos. In less than a minute, 2 Serati soldiers were down. The last one tried to escape, but Ellarine caught him with a sharp kick. She pulled off his helmet. "Why are you here?" she demanded. The soldier spat. "You betrayed the Empire. You side with humans. You are no longer Serati." "I'm still Serati," she replied, her voice cold. "But I choose peace." He laughed bitterly. "There is no peace. Only control." Ellarine knocked him unconscious. Marcus stared at her. "They were sent to kill you." She nodded. "My father must know I've stopped following orders." Marcus lowered his weapon. and it means we're running out of time. They returned to the control room. Commander Weiss was there, holding a bandage to her shoulder. She had been injured in the blast, but was still giving orders. "We stopped the attackers," Marcus reported. "Serati infiltrators. The target was Ellerin." Weiss looked at the princess. "Why should we still trust you?" Ellerin stepped forward, calm and strong. "Because I stayed. Because I fought beside your people. Because I warned you." Weiss didn't speak for a moment, and she nodded slowly. "You've earned a chance, don't waste it." The next day, Earth Command replied to the message Marcus and Ellerin had sent. The orders were clear: prepare all defenses, inform the world leaders. War was close, but Earth Command also gave a rare green light. Ellerin was now officially accepted as an ally, a bridge between Earth and Sereth. Marcus and Ellerin met privately in the observation room. The Martian sky looked darker than usual, as if it too felt the storm coming. "I never imagined I would be standing against my own people," Ellerin said quietly. Marcus looked at her. "You're not against your people. You're standing for what's right." She smiled, but it was full of pain. "You always know what to say," he shrugged. "It's rare." Later, they received news from Earth. A secret Serati scout ship had landed near a human communications tower. Project Redline, the human resistance group, was preparing to destroy the ship. "We have to stop them," Marcus said. "They attack without proof. They'll start the war early." "But they don't trust me," Ellerin said. "Then we show them why they should." They took a fast shuttle and flew to Earth. The landing zone was rough, deep in a desert near an abandoned city. Old towers stood broken under the hot sun. In the distance, smoke rose. They followed the signal to an underground bunker. Inside, a group of armed humans stared at them. The leader stepped forward, a woman with a scar across her cheek. "I'm Captain Reyes. Project Redline," she said. "Why is the princess here?" "To stop a war," Marcus said. Reyes frowned. "How do we know she's not lying?" Ellerin stepped closer.
Ow!
"Because I came here with no guards, no weapons, no orders. Only truth." She handed Reyes a data chip. "This has Serati battle plans, ship movements, and proof of infiltration on both sides. If we fight now, millions will die." Reyes studied her, then plugged the chip into a terminal. The room was silent as the data showed up. Everyone stared. "She's telling the truth," Reyes said. Suddenly alarms blared inside the bunker. Serati scout ship appeared on the screen, flying low toward a major Earth city. Project Redline teams had already launched missiles. Ellerin's eyes widened. "No, that ship is a peace envoy. My cousin is on it. We need to stop the strike," Marcus said. "But how?" Reyes asked. Marcus turned to her. "Trust me. Let us handle this." Minutes later, Marcus and Ellerin flew a small fighter jet, racing against the missile's path. They pushed the engines to the limit. Ellerin opened a communication link to the Serati ship. "Cousin, this is Ellerin. Do not respond with fire. Earth's people are confused." A voice replied, "Ellerin, you are alive. We thought you were captured." "I'm alive. I chose peace. Do not attack. We will stop the missile." Act. Marcus locked onto the missile's path. It was closing fast, too fast. "Hold on," he said, and fired a blast that hit the missile's engine. The explosion was loud and bright, but the danger was stopped. The Serati ship flew past them slowly, then turned away. Back at the base, Marcus and Ellerin landed safely. Reyes greeted them with a nod. "You saved a Serati ship and stopped a war from starting early," she said. "Maybe peace is still possible." Ellerin looked tired but hopeful. "Only if we try harder." Marcus looked at the sky. "The fleet is still coming. We bought time. Nothing more." That night, Ellerin received one final message from her father. "You have chosen your side. You are no longer my daughter. The Serati fleet will arrive in Earth's orbit within 3 days. This is your last chance to return." She read the message, then deleted it. Marcus stood beside her. "What now?" "We prepare," she said. for the hardest part to be continued. The sun was rising over Earth, but the sky felt heavy. 3 days had passed since the warning from Eliren's father. Now the Scifi fleet was moving. Hundreds of ships were entering Earth's orbit, silent, dark, and full of weapons. Inside, Earth's main defense station in orbit, commanders gathered around a massive screen. Sergeant Marcus Hale stood beside Princess Ellerin. Both were wearing their battle gear. "All fleets are in position," said Admiral Ross. "Shields are up. Ground defenses are ready." "Any word from the Scifi command ship?" Marcus asked. "Nothing," the Admiral replied. "They're ignoring all messages." Ellerin looked at the map of the enemy fleet. "They're not here to talk. My father is trying to show power. But if we strike first, we lose our only chance at peace." The room was silent. Every leader was thinking the same thing. This could be the start of war. Back in a private chamber, Ellerin stood alone, staring at the stars. Her hands trembled slightly. "Wait." Marcus entered quietly. "You okay?" he asked. "No," she said honestly. "My father has turned our fleet into a weapon, and now I must stop him." Marcus walked up beside her. "How?" "I want to speak to the galaxy," she said. "Not just to the Scifi, not just to humans, to everyone." "You think your father will listen?" "No," she said. "But someone might." With the help of Earth Command and Project Redline, Ellerin stood before a galaxy-wide broadcast system. A camera focused on her. The whole world and beyond could see her now. She took a deep breath. "I am Princess Ellerin of Sereth. My people have ruled many worlds. We believed order brings peace, but we forgot something. Peace without choice is not peace at all. I was sent to marry a human soldier, to make Earth part of our empire. But in that soldier, I found something greater than any empire. I found truth, strength, and freedom. My father's fleet waits above Earth, ready to attack. But I stand with the humans, not because I am forced, because I choose to. To all who watch, do not let fear guide your hearts. Let hope guide your actions." The screen faded to black dot in the control room. No one spoke for a moment. Then a communication light blinked. A call from the Scifi command ship. "Marcus." And Ellerin rushed to the comm station. A large screen turned on. Ellerin's father, Emperor Kelrith, appeared. His face was hard, his voice cold. "You dare speak for our people, Ellerin?" "I speak for myself," she said, "and for those who want peace. You shame our blood. You protect a species that should kneel." "They don't need to kneel," Ellerin replied. "They stand, and I stand with them." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You've made your choice." The call ended. Moments later, the Scifi ships began to move. Red lights flashed across Earth Command. Alarms screamed. "Scifi fleet is advancing," someone shouted. "Defensive positions," yelled Admiral Ross. Marcus turned to Ellerin. "We tried." She looked determined. "It's not over." Suddenly a new signal appeared on the screen. A smaller Scifi ship, broadcasting independently, was speaking. A young voice came through. "This is Captain Malin of the Scifi research ship, Taris. We refuse to fire on Earth. We support Princess Eliane." Then another ship followed. "This is Commander Varric. I will not attack. There is another way." One by one, Scifi ships began to break formation. The control room erupted in gasps. "They're refusing orders," said Commander Weiss. "They're listening to her." Marcus looked at Ellerin. "You're turning the tide." But just then, a large warship, the Emperor's flagship, charged weapons. "He's going to fire," someone yelled. Marcus clenched his fists. "We have to stop him." Earth's orbital defenses aimed at the command ship. But Ellerin raised her hand. "Don't fire," she said. "What?" the Admiral asked. "That ship can destroy a city. If we fire first," she said, "we become the enemy." Pause. "Then what do you suggest?" Marcus asked. Eli Ryn turned to take me to him. Minutes later, Ellerin prepared a small transport pod. Marcus joined her, strapping in beside her. "You don't have to come," she said. He smirked. "And let you walk into a warship alone? Not a chance." The pod launched from Earth Station, heading straight toward the Scifi flagship. No shots were fired. Yet, inside the enemy ship, Ellerin and Marcus were taken into a throne room. The Emperor stood, waiting, wearing black robes and a crown of silver. "You have no right to be here," he growled. "I have every right," Ellerin said. "You taught me to lead. Now I lead differently. You bring a human into our court," he hissed. "He's more than a soldier," she said. "He showed me what real strength is. Strength to stand with others, not over them." The Emperor raised a hand. Guards stepped forward, weapons ready. Then, unexpectedly, one of the Scifi guards dropped his weapon. Another followed, then another. The Emperor's face twisted with disbelief. "What are you doing?" one guard replied. "We follow the princess, not your fear." Emperor's power had cracked. He looked at Ellerin. "You would let this chaos win?" "No," she said calmly. "Let freedom win." Back on Earth, the Scifi fleet received a final message. "Stand down. The war is over." Marcus and Ellerin returned to Earth to cheers. People from every colony watched the news with wide eyes and full hearts. No war had started. No cities burned because one princess spoke, and one soldier believed in her. That night, Marcus looked at Ellerin on the observation deck. "You did it," he said. "No," she smiled. "We did it." A soft peace settled over Earth's skies. The massive Scifi fleet, once a symbol of fear, now floated silently in orbit. Their weapons were no longer pointed at cities. Their leaders had lowered their flags of war inside Earth's main command. Station celebration filled the air. Screens showed live footage of people cheering across Mars, Earth, and the lunar colonies. For the first time in years, the galaxy was not moving toward war, but toward peace. Princess Ellerin stood beside Sergeant Marcus Hale as Earth command officers clapped and saluted. Ellerin felt the weight in her heart slowly lift. "I never thought this day would come," she whispered. Marcus smiled. "You made it happen." Later, in a private garden near the base, Marcus and Ellerin walked together. The plants had been grown carefully by Earth's scientists, a symbol of hope and life. Small blue flowers from Mars, green vines from Earth, and glowing petals from the Scifi homeworld bloomed side by side. "This garden wasn't possible before," Ellerin said softly. "Just like us," Marcus replied. She looked at him. "Do you still think you were chosen by mistake?" Marcus chuckled. Every day Ellerin shook her head. "No. You were chosen because the universe needed someone honest, someone real. You were the first human I met who didn't lie, didn't pretend, and didn't bow." He smirked. "You're still a princess, you know?" She looked away. "Not anymore. My father removed my title. I'm not royalty now." Marcus shrugged. "Fine. Then I guess I just married a normal alien girl." She laughed for the first time in days. The next few weeks were full of change. A new council was formed, half Scifi, half human. They named it the Union of Free Worlds. Ellerin was given a leadership role, not as a princess, but as a voice for peace. Marcus was asked to become Earth's ambassador to the Scifi people, but he refused. "I'm a soldier, not a suit," he told them. "But I'll stay by Ellerin's side, wherever she goes." Together they visited Earth cities and Scifi colonies. They spoke to children, to soldiers, to leaders. Their story spread across systems. People listened. People believed, and slowly fear began to fade. One evening, during a visit to the Scifi moon station, Ellerin received a private message. It was from her younger brother, Prince Vale now. "The acting leader of Sereth, sister, I see now, you were right. Father led us with fear, but fear only creates more fear. We'll lead with hope." Ellerin felt tears in her eyes. She handed the message to Marcus. "He's young," she said, "but maybe he can rebuild what our father broke." Marcus nodded. "Because of you?" "No," she said. "Because I didn't give up." On the anniversary of the peace agreement, Earth hosted a massive event. Leaders from over 50 planets arrived. Flags flew high, and people from many species stood together. Marcus, in his best formal uniform, though still slightly wrinkled, watched from the side. He didn't like big speeches. He preferred quiet actions. Ilarin stood at the center stage. She wore a new kind of robe, not Sarati, royal clothes, not Earth military. It was a blend of both, designed to show unity. She looked at the large crowd and began to speak. 1 year ago, we stood at the edge of war. Ships waited to fire. Worlds held their breath. But something unexpected happened. A soldier and a princess chose to talk instead of fight. I lost my title. I lost my place in my empire. But I found something greater, the power of understanding. We are not the same. We don't need to be. But we must learn to listen. The crowd rose in applause. After the event, Ellerin found Marcus sitting on a bench, eating a protein bar. "You skipped the food table?" she asked. "Too many reporters?" he said with a grin. She sat beside him. "You hate attention, don't you?" He nodded, "But I'll take it, if it means staying close to you." She smiled. "You never stop surprising me." They sat quietly for a while, watching the stars above. "I used to think humans were too wild to trust," she said. "I used to think aliens were too cold to care," he replied. "But we were." "Both wrong," she added. "Or maybe," Marcus said, "we were both a little right." And that's what made it work. As the galaxy changed slowly around them, Lyran and Marcus continued their journey, not as royalty and soldier, but as symbols of hope. They didn't always agree, argued, laughed, trained, and sometimes sat in silence. But one thing was always true. They had chosen each other, and in a galaxy full of uncertainty, that one choice had changed everything.